Federal Information Processing Standards are publicly announced standards developed by the United States federal government for use in computer systems by non-military government agencies and government contractors. FIPS standards are issued to establish requirements for various purposes such as ensuring computer security and interoperability, and are intended for cases in which suitable industry standards do not already exist. Many FIPS specifications are modified versions of standards used in the technical communities, such as the American National Standards Institute, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, and the International Organization for Standardization. Specific areas of FIPS standardization. The U.S. government has developed various FIPS specifications to standardize a number of topics including codes, for instance, standards for encoding data. In 1994 an OAA began broadcasting coded signals called FIPS codes along with the standard weather broadcasts from local stations. These codes identify the type of emergency and the specific geographic area, such as the county affected by the emergency. Encryption standards, such as the data encryption standard and the advanced encryption standard. Data security standards. Some FIPS standards have related to the security of data processing systems. Some of these included the use of key escrow systems, withdrawal of geographic codes. Some examples of FIPS codes for geographical areas include FIPS 10-4 for country codes or region codes and FIPS 5-2 for state codes. These codes were similar to or comparable with but not the same as ISO 3166 or the NUTS standard of the European Union. In 2002, the National Institute of Standards and Technology withdrew several geographic FIPS code standards, including those for countries, U.S. states, and counties. These are to be replaced by ISO 3166 and INCITS standards 38 and 31, respectively. Some of the codes maintain the previous numerical system, particularly for states. In 2008, NIST withdrew the FIPS 55-3 database. This database included 5-digit numeric place codes for cities, towns, and villages, or other centers of population in the United States. The codes were assigned alphabetically to places within each state, and as a result changed frequently in order to maintain the alphabetical sorting. NIST replaced these codes with the more permanent GNIS feature ID, maintained by the U.S. Board on Geographic Names. The GNIS database is the official geographic names repository database for the United States, and is designated the only source of geographic names and locative attributes for use by the agencies of the federal government. FIPS 8-6 metropolitan areas and 9-1 congressional districts of the U.S. were also withdrawn in 2008 to be replaced with INCITS standards 454 and 455, respectively. The U.S. Census Bureau used FIPS placecodes database to identify legal and statistical entities for county subdivisions, places, and American Indian areas, Alaska Native areas, or Hawaiian homelands when they needed to present census data for these areas. In response to the NIST decision, the Census Bureau is in the process of transitioning over to the GNIS feature ID, which will be completed after the 2010 census. Until then, previously issued FIPS placecodes, renamed Census Code, will continue to be used, with the Census Bureau assigning new codes as needed for their internal use during the transition.